The training arena of Sunspire Academy hung in geosynchronous orbit above the gas giant Velos, a colossal ring of durasteel and grav plating suspended between stars. Inside, cadets from 37 species trained under the watchful eyes of the Galactic Cadet Alliance. Sunspire wasn't just a school, it was a proving ground for the galaxy's future elite. And today, all eyes were on the human. Cadet Kale Renner stood alone in Sector Theta, clad in the standard-issue gray cadet suit. No exoframe, no bioenhancements, no neural augments. Around him, the arena hummed with tension. The other cadets, scaled, chitinous, crystalline, or feathered, watched from the observation galleries, some smirking, others whispering behind multispectrum visors. "Renner," boomed Instructor Zorvac, a hulking Draxian with plasma scars across his carapace. "You requested a solo endurance trial. The Council granted it. But know this. If you fail, humanity's probationary status at Sunspire is revoked. Permanently." Kyle nodded. "Understood, sir." He hadn't asked for this. Not really. But after weeks of being called fragile, primitive, and biologically obsolete, after watching his species dismissed as emotional, short-lived anomalies in a galaxy of engineered perfection, he'd snapped. During a strategy debrief, a Xylian cadet had sneered, "Your kind wouldn't last 10 seconds in real combat." Kale had simply replied, "Then test me." Now, the trial began. Phase 1. Thermal extremes. The arena floor split open. Molten plasma flooded the chamber, radiating heat that would vaporize most organics. Kale stood ankle-deep in liquid fire. His suit's thermal regulators screamed warnings, but he didn't move. Sweat evaporated instantly from his brow. His skin blistered, then charred. Yet he breathed steadily, eyes locked ahead. Alien medics prepared emergency stasis pods. But Kale didn't collapse. He endured. Phase 2, kinetic overload. Gravity spiked to 20 G. The plasma drained, replaced by micrometeor showers accelerated to orbital velocity. Stones the size of fists hammered his body like artillery. Ribs cracked. One arm hung limp. Still he stood, a Veln cadet whispered, "How? His bones should be paste." "He's not enhanced," muttered a Cathari observer. "No cybernetics. No gene locks, just flesh." Phase 3, neural assault. Psionic emitters activated. Waves of telepathic agony, designed to shatter even the most disciplined minds, flooded Kale's consciousness. Visions of Earth's wars, his family's deaths, his own failures played on loop, amplified 1,000-fold. He screamed. But he didn't fall. Instead, he began to laugh. It started as a choked gasp, then grew into a raw, defiant roar that echoed through the chamber. The laughter wasn't madness, it was recognition. This is nothing new. Because humans didn't evolve in sterile labs or climate-controlled biospheres. They'd clawed their way out of ice ages, survived plagues that killed billions, rebuilt cities from ash. Pain wasn't foreign to them. It was their oldest teacher. Phase 4. The final test. Instructor. Zorvac descended into the arena, his voice low. "One last trial. Face me." The Draxian activated his combat exosuit, a relic from the Veln Purge Wars capable of crushing starship hulls. He moved like a landslide given sentience. Kale, broken, bleeding, barely standing, raised his fists. The crowd fell silent. Zorvac struck. A single backhand should have launched Kale into orbit, but the human twisted, absorbed the blow across his shoulder and kept his footing. Again. 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 Each hit should have killed him. Each impact registered forces that would pulp a Gravic or shatter a Sylvani crystal form. Yet Kale staggered, bled, coughed blood, and kept rising. On the 10th strike, something shifted. Zorvac hesitated. "Why won't you fall?" Kale spat red onto the scorched floor. "Because..." "We don't know how." And then he charged, not with strength, but with timing. He ducked under a wild swing, drove a shattered forearm into a joint seam in Zorvac's armor, and used the Draxian's own momentum to flip him onto his back. The arena shook, silence, then applause. Hesitant at first, then thunderous. Even the Xylian cadet clapped, eyes wide with something like awe. Later in the medbay, as Nanite stitched his bones and regrew his skin, Kale was visited by Elder Matriarch Vela of the Lumina Concord, the Academy's founder. Her light form hovered above his bed, soft as starlight. "You did not win because you are strong," she said. "You won because you refused to define victory as survival alone. You chose dignity in suffering, that is, uniquely human." Kyle smiled weakly. "We call it stubbornness, ma'am." She shimmered, amused. "The galaxy has weapons that can unmake stars, shields that can weather supernova. But until today, no one had seen a species that treats pain as a conversation, not a command." Word spread. Across the Orion Spur, in war rooms and academies, a new term entered military lexicons: human resilience threshold. Not a measurement of strength, but of will. Back on Earth, news feeds exploded. "Indomitable!" Read the headlines. Children wore "I survived Sunspire" shirts. But Kale didn't care about fame, he cared about the message, because humanity hadn't come to the stars to conquer. They'd come to prove that even the smallest, softest species, armed with nothing but grit and heart, could stand toe-to-toe with gods and make them blink. Weeks later, during graduation, Kale stood before the assembled cadets. His body was healed, but his eyes carried the weight of fire, gravity, and ghosts. "The galaxy thinks we're fragile," he said, voice steady. "And maybe we are. But fragility doesn't mean weakness. Glass is fragile. So is a seed. But glass can cut steel, and a seed can crack a mountain." He paused, then grinned. The same grin that had unnerved a Draxian warlord. "So next time someone calls a human breakable, remind them we've been broken before, and every time we came back sharper." As the cadets roared, even the aliens among them raised fists in salute. For the first time in Sunspire's history, the top honor, the Unbroken Star, was awarded not to the strongest, fastest, or smartest cadet, but to the one who refused to stay down. And somewhere in a quiet corner of the galaxy, a young Cathari child whispered to her mother, "Mama, can I be human when I grow up?" The mother, once dismissive of Earth's primitive species, simply replied, "Maybe, little one. Maybe we all should try." Because in a universe of perfect machines and immortal beings, humanity had revealed its secret weapon, not invincibility, but the unshakable, irrational, glorious refusal to ever accept defeat. And that was truly indestructible.